751-1041. Countless delays. The company building Tucson streetcars at its target to have all the 8 cars delivered will be late March next year. If I were a betting man, no way. That means the tracks could be open to riders by midsummer 2014, 8 months later than the original start date. I'm telling you, when they bring that, Tucson's first car rolled down the test track for the first time last week, should arrive in August for more testing here. So they guess they tested one up in Portland. I'd like to believe that they accounted for the heat here, but man, how do you? I mean, unless I guess you're math. Make sure the components you're using are capable of withstanding, but there is no accounting for, actual real world. I guess that's why they call it a testing phase, right? We had a call, friend of the show, Paul, was watching the televised portion of the show, and he asked me, how long are you going to keep complaining about the streetcar because it's coming? And I said, forever. Until it's no longer sucking up taxpayer dollars. That's the problem that I have with all of this. Let me drive to the point, because I'm still not. There's a couple more things I want to get to, but let me get to the real point in all this, because I have a guest column that I'll share with you. Tucson, like Portland, Oregon, is at last becoming a city that works. No. You might have your downtown revitalization, and I will give that credit where it's due. I have not been downtown myself to see it. Last time I drove through there, it was still a disastrous mess. But maybe I just wasn't on the right block. However, you want to talk about you have a downtown that perhaps works in terms of catering to the demographics down there, that's fine. But if you're looking at it from a standpoint of economic prosperity, we are still missing the mark. And the streetcar is what is going to be blamed for all of this. It's millions of dollars per year. When we're haggling every single budget cycle, and the threats of budget cuts and police cuts and fire cuts and the attempts to try to get raises, this is all before we're dealing with the operating costs of this choo-choo train. And therein lies the problem. It's all coming at the expense of the rest of the city. Because we're not, and I heard what Dave was saying, we have a nice rotation of jobs moving through downtown with the new businesses and bars and club scenes and everything else. That's fine and dandy and fantastic. But we're not bringing in the other big industries to go and set up shop to invite those young individuals recently graduated to go and work in other places. That's where we're missing the mark. We still go install the other projects, the Walmart, Rosemont Copper Mine. We don't invite in the money that we could have from the F-35. We screw up the Sam's Club deal and we get in lawsuits. I mean, therein lies the problem. The people that are in charge and working with downtown are still working with the same yahoos who are making all the poor decisions for the rest of the community that aren't propping up all the community. We can have all the downtown revitalization we want. And we've been talking about this for years. But if that's where your singular focus is going to be, and you're going to continue to ignore the problems that are plaguing the rest of the city, and continue to listen to the NIMBYs and the Enviro whack jobs, and people in El Encanto who don't want Walmarts going up, we're not going to get anywhere. You're going to have a great little downtown with the rest of the community that's going to be suffering for it, because that streetcar is not going to pay for itself. And I have an example of this coming up in an In the Ghetto update. We'll share that with you on the way. Plus, animal cruelty and Steve Kozachik? Okay, not really. Depends on what you define as animal cruelty. If you define animal cruelty as putting Steve Kozachik campaign shirts on your pets, then yes, it's animal cruelty.